Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Y'all know what it is. AJ seeing reality red. Y'all know what it is. As usual, gotta go check my audio, and I got an announcement I'm gonna make. Gotta do that. And wow, it's a lot of people on. Okay, that's what's up. Let's see, I should be live. One testing two. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, I think this is going to be my last live for a while. Um Honestly, really getting tired of it. I really don't make that much income. I'm not monetized. Really don't get really no support. So I'm just going to do my videos, and I'm going to do my shorts, because usually the shorts I've been gaining a lot of subscribers, so somewhat. So I'm just gonna go that route. This to me is starting to become like a waste of my time. Um, but it is what it is. Let me put this up here. But yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Even with this live, I'll probably do like 20 minutes. Um, and if I don't receive anything, I'm gonna just basically cut it and call it a wrap. Because I could be doing other things. And hey, it is what it is. But I'm not for to keep doing this. I'm not gaining anything from this. So yeah, so most likely we'll see. But I'm not for to keep doing this. I don't get any type of support, but I get some decent views. And I'm not about with the roasting and all that goofy ass shit. Anymore. I don't got time for that. Fuck that shit. Um, Wasting my time. So I'm not. Fucking Negroes. Um, don't support anyway, like I've been saying. So I'm not fit to keep doing this. But yeah, let's get to it. We'll see. 5:21. So I say about 5:41. I don't receive anything. As you see, the Cash App is on the screen. Um, and yeah. Um, uh, if I don't receive any support, I'm not. No, this is going to be over with for a while. Be better off just doing videos anyway. So, but yeah, let's get into it. Let me share the screen. I don't want to keep waiting any longer. Get this over with. Let's see, so yeah, so this is once again the second debate. They had Vallas and Johnson. So, and I think they had a third one. I haven't looked at it yet. But if I go over that, that's just in video format. Well, I definitely won't be alive. So I'm gonna skip ahead because this is a different one. I think I was on another channel. Well, no, I think this the same. But all right. I'm not a mute up because I'm gonna be, me and usually gonna be talking. So
Cooperation with the League of Women Voters of Chicago, the League of Women Voters of Illinois, and
round questions that require only short answers. We will then close this debate with each candidate.
Two, we're going to make sure that we spend
reason when crime typically
round questions that require only short answers. We will then close this debate with each candidate getting 1 minute for a closing statement. Question order tonight was determined by ballot order. So tonight, Brandon Johnson will be answering first. Let's go ahead and get started right now with the People's Forum tonight with the first question now coming from Craig Wall. Craig.
Good evening, candidates. Crime is consistently listed as one of the top concerns in this election, and although the number of murders is down over the last 2 years, overall violent crime is up 47%. from last year and 60% from 4 years ago. Each of you has frequently articulated your plan for dealing with crime, but what specifically will you do to make people feel safe as we head into the summer season when crime typically spikes?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Look, it's a serious problem. We're all facing it every single day. Many of you know that I'm raising my family on the west side of Chicago, and we love it, my wife and I, raising our 3 children. And as much as we love the west side of the city of Chicago, it is one of the most violent neighborhoods, the Austin community, in the entire city. And that's why my plan for public safety is comprehensive. 1, we're going to train and promote 200 more detectives so we can actually solve crime. 2, we're going to make sure that we spend to implement the consent decree. There are many failures there that continue to persist. We're going to fix that. 3rd, we're going to make sure that we are actually enforcing the laws that are on the books. Red flag laws, right? Where individuals who are accessing guns that should not have them. But we're also going to take a long-term approach as well. When it comes to prevention and the data that actually has proven to work, youth employment, and I'm going to do that, double the amount of young people that we hire, there's a direct correlation between youth employment and violence reduction. We're going to pass treatment, not trauma, open up our mental health centers. And of course, we're going to make sure that we're creating jobs because economic stability is safety.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vallas. Same question.
Well, very good. And well, first of all, you've got to get at the underlying causes of crime, but there is no substitute to returning to community-based policing. You can't have 911 calls being responded to in 3 hours as opposed to 3 minutes because there are not enough beat cars. You can't have confidence in the safety of public transportation when there are not police officers on the platforms and police officers at the stations. The bottom line is my opponent wants to defund the police. He doesn't want to fill the 1,100 vacancies. He does not want to bring back retired officers or invite other officers who have left to return without any loss of seniority. So at the end of the day, what you've got to do is you've got to fill the ranks, you've got to fill those vacancies, and you've got to deploy the police into the community so that there are officers there to respond when those 911 calls are made. 32,000 high priority 911 calls, assaults and batteries were not responded to last year because there were not cars available, and you've got to make public transportation safe.
Okay, 30 seconds back to Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm not going to defund the police. Never said it, right? But what we're going to do is train and promote 200 more detectives because we're not solving crime in the city of Chicago, especially in Black and brown poor communities. The best way to engender confidence with public safety, you got to catch people. But we also have to make sure that we're investing in people. There's a direct correlation. If it comes to preventing crime in the city of Chicago, let's hire young people. Let's demonstrate that we actually value them. But we also have to make sure that we're providing mental health support for law enforcement, for the people of the city of Chicago, because the type of trauma that we're experiencing in the city of Chicago because of disinvestment is why crime is so high. I have a comprehensive plan that gets us.
To be honest, they're repeating a lot of things they said in the first debate they had between each other. So, it is what it is. But it's a different questions asked. But but from when I was listening, they repeated they statements they made in the first one, most of them. So.
The root causes
we will
and the
continue.
immediate crisis.
We will continue this discussion. Paul Vallas will be answering our next question here, and it is coming from Alex Hernandez.
And we're going to talk about the youth, actually, because juvenile crime in the city continues to be a big problem here in Chicago. Every week, the youth as young as 12 years old are involved in shootings, robberies, or other type of delinquent activity. How will you, as a mayor, help prevent young people from committing crimes and become repeated offenders?
Well, first of all, juvenile crime has risen dramatically since 2019 because schools were effectively shut down for 15 consecutive months, long after the science had demonstrated that the schools could be reopened safely. And of course, schools all over the state reopened far before the Chicago Public Schools did. But what I would do is I would open campuses through the dinner or on weekends, over the summer, during the holidays, and bring community-based programs onto the campuses so the kids would have a safe and secure place to go. I would also introduce, and I've talked about this many times, universal work study. So the high school kids would have an opportunity to participate in paid work study jobs. I've talked to all 12 of the labor unions that are endorsing me about creating such programs, and I require city agencies and city departments and city contractors to create work study opportunities too. What I would also do is open the schools that have been closed to create alternative schools for the tens of thousands of young people, 18 to 25, who have exited the system and are either not in school or they do not have jobs because they need an opportunity to re-enter the system.
Okay, thank you. 1 minute for Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, look, I'm a teacher. I've looked into the eyes of young people who have experienced trauma and they feel a little less hope. And that's why I'm committed to making sure that we double the amount of young people that we hire. It's a proven data point that if we want to prevent young people from participating and engaging in many of the behavior that they've been accused of, is that we have to actually invest in them. There's a direct correlation between youth employment and violence reduction. But we also have to have someone who believes in public education, right? And so what I'm going to do as the mayor of the city of Chicago to make sure that we are implementing and instituting the trades into our schools so that our children have a pathway to economic opportunity. But we're also going to make sure that the jobs that are available now, particularly our manufacturing jobs, 55,000 vacancies right now. We can close the gap between graduation and economic opportunity.
You know something that's crazy, because I've been looking at other places, other states, other towns, city like Gary, East St. Louis, and I like the steel mill that left, and with Gary that caused basically them to lose half their population. I'm gonna talk about that too. We go briefly. I'm gonna talk about that in the video, because we got to discuss that about when it comes about these certain jobs, replacement, these companies that's leaving. Because if I'm correct, here in Chicago, like the suburban south side of Chicago, they got manufacturing plants there that's still open. I've seen them in the south suburbs. It's a couple of them, so they're somewhat still here. I don't know what they're producing. I have to, if I look it up somewhat, but they have, you did have a lot of companies also, just not manufacturing, like other companies that left out of Chicago. And I don't know, the same thing when Trump was saying that, I just was like, nah, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't. I think it'd be great, if that we could bring that back, but because of the here in Illinois, minimum wage is $15, and we talking about, these companies are greedy as fuck. Everybody know how how they do it. I'm not trying to say, because you got a lot of warehouse jobs here too in the western suburbs. It's a lot of warehouses out here. So, but I don't know. Because it seemed like, usually because of the wages, and I talked about this before, everything went up. It's expensive here in Chicago. Like, shit is out of control. Like, they had to raise property taxes. Shit is crazy. So I don't know. I don't have anything. I said this before against capitalism. I don't. I'm for it. Shit. I'm definitely for it, but you got a lot of greed going on too, and a lot of these companies don't give a fuck. If they could get it cheap labor or whatever, go to China, or, whatever else. God damn it! It's only when I go, live, all of a sudden my phone just start going crazy. So let me put this on mute because this should be pissing me off. Anyway, so I don't know. No. What I think they should do, because they talking a lot about to us with the building or electric cars. They need to get that, them type of warehouses, them type of plants here, batteries and things of that nature. Because when I looked up to see, okay, who all are producing, building lithium batteries, or putting them together for electric cars, I think it's just California. And I don't even, if for sure, if they're still there in California. Why not implement that here in Chicago? Those jobs are good paying. I know you got to know about electricity. It's not hard. It's not the Ohm's law. And it's easy. Trust me. That's like $100K easily. just being a battery builder, building the battery bank for the electrical cars. We need to start looking into the future and things in that nature. Bring that here to Chicago. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. All right, guys, y'all got, what is it, 6-7 more minutes?
By actually having someone who believes that it's worth investing in people. And that's what my public safety plan calls for, and that's what my education plan calls for.
Thank you. Rebuttal, Mr. Vallas.
Yeah, schools shut down for 15 consecutive months. Schools that close at 3:30 in the afternoons. Schools that are closed over the weekends. Schools that are closed through the summer, through most of the summer and during the holidays. That's not investing in people. And what I've talked about doing is returning the money to the local schools under the control of the local school councils and the principals. Only 60% of the $30,000 a year that is spent per student on public education finds its way into the classroom. Ask a Chicago public school teacher whether or not they think they're getting $30,000 per student.
Okay, we appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Vallas. Our next question here will go back to Brandon Johnson answering first. And it is now coming from our audience here in the studio where Ravi is.
All right, Judy, thanks very much. And this is Brian Johnson from Metropolitan Family Services, and he's got that question. Brian, what is your question?
Community-based violence intervention, CVI, has been proven to be an effective tool in combating gun violence in cities like New York and Los Angeles. Chicago has built a network of CVI programs that are showing great promise. Are you committed to keeping and funding those appropriately?
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
I'm shocked I didn't hear Brown and Black and Brown. Wow, first black man, black guy to come up and say, hey, in regards to Black and brown people.
And just for all clarity, no relation. Good to see you, brother Brian. Look, as I said before, violence is a very serious problem in the city of Chicago. It's a problem all over the country. That's why, as Cook County Commissioner, we've invested under my leadership when we built the budget for Black Lives, Justice for Black Lives resolution. We have $100 million that's dedicated to violence prevention because that's what works. What has failed us is the politics of old.
Holy shit, he just said Black Lives. Oh my, I'm waiting for the brown shit. Come on, where the brown people? Oh, maybe the Hispanics don't really, I don't know. They're not as violent as us, huh?
And as my opponent.
Wait, they just as poor as us. Okay.
Talks about school closings. Well, he set up the market for schools to be closed. He got so good at it, he went all around the country doing it. It's not a coincidence that where violence is pervasive, it's where schools have been closed and where schools have been privatized. All of this is connected. And so making sure that we're actually investing in people, jobs, economic opportunities, and the people who actually have been experiencing this type of trauma get to help to lead how we actually come up out of this trauma. So I'm very much committed to doing what I've always said I'm going to do, because I've already done it, is invest in people.
Okay, Mr. Vallas, 1 minute.
Well, let me answer your question. First of all, absolutely. And we have to spend the money that we're appropriating. As you know, we've had forums when we've talked about the fact that a lot of money was appropriated, but it was actually not spent. So we have to commit to spending money that's appropriated. But let me respond. The only one up here who's ever closed schools is my opponent. I opened 78 school buildings in 6 years because our enrollment was growing by 40,000, 125,000 more kids today. Have you ever been to New Orleans? Did you ever see New Orleans after Katrina? 80% of those schools were destroyed. I actually had to build a school district out of nothing from scratch. And I had to negotiate with the Bush administration the $2 billion FEMA settlement.
Aries was saying that. So you got to give him that. Aries did kind of speak for him on that. He turned something out of nothing. So he made $1 out of 15 cents as they,
So we could rebuild the schools. Today in New Orleans, every single child is in either a brand new school or a completely renovated public school governed by local community boards. That's a fact. And that school district led the state for 7 consecutive years after Katrina, where after COVID, only 6% of the Black children in the Chicago public schools are computing at national norms.
Thank you, Mr. Vallas. 30 seconds back to you, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I have been to New Orleans, and I'm going to take a vacation there once I get elected as mayor of the city of Chicago. But here's the reality, though. People from New Orleans actually came here to Chicago today, Paul, to talk about your failures. The truth of the matter is you privatized 2/3 of the district, which caused scores of Black women to be laid off because of your failures. Look,
Oh, wow.
entire-
Oh, yeah, I hear that right. Scores of black women. Brandon.
Our economy shut down from a 100-year pandemic. We did that because we had to save lives. And so I know it's a fair Republican talking point because that's a part of your party.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is, if we're going to have a better, stronger,
Thank you.
safer Chicago, we have to
Thank you,
invest in people.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We do have many more questions coming from the audience tonight. We're just getting started.
Very
But
good.
now let's get back to Craig Wall with Paul Vallas answering our next question first, Craig.
The Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability recently launched a nationwide search for a new police superintendent. What will be your priorities for the next person who will lead the department, and how do you plan to address the morale issue that has contributed to the depleted police ranks?
Well, the way you do that, first of all, I will promote from within, and I will advocate for a candidate from within. I've met with the police officers up and down the ranks. I helped negotiate an 8-year contract without compensation that included all the accountability provisions that were being demanded by the reformers. So I believe basically that we need to promote from within the ranks at all levels, all the exempt ranks, based on time and grade and experience. I also believe that once you restore the police to a normal schedule, once you return to community-based policing where the officers are working their beats and not being moved all over the city, and once you support the police, and I'm talking about the type of proactive policing where you're arresting people for serious crimes, because ask police officers whether or not they feel that they can arrest for serious crimes. With only a 5% clearance rate, obviously they are being intimidated. Once you do that, you're going to significantly slow the exit of officers, and hundreds of officers who have retired will return, and hundreds of officers who have transferred to other police departments will also return. You'll be able to flood the ranks again.
Thank you. Same question, Mr. Johnson.
I don't think
Look,
so.
I have very, very basic principles that I live by. And this is what I'm looking for in a police superintendent: someone who is compassionate, someone who is collaborative, and someone who is competent. Someone who is tethered to the city of Chicago, who understands the dynamics of the city of Chicago. Right now, we don't have smart policing. Right? Here's what's actually disturbing. We talk about raising the morale of the workforce and
smart policing. I think you need to innovate the technology that you have along with the policing. I think that's the problem. And it's 5:41. Yeah, I didn't receive anything, so I'm gonna stop sharing. Get on that. So I'm gonna cut this off. Yeah, so fix my screen to get back to doing what I was doing before. Do my research and stuff, I got big. I won't say it's big, but it kind of is. Big thing coming tomorrow. Be looking out for the shorts. Hopefully I'm gonna try to just get people opinion on the police station we're gonna be at and things we're trying to accomplish. It's good to kind of hear from the people, let them talk towards what we're doing and the things, we're trying to change the paradigm. And it's good to, I'm gonna try to have them to speak. I'm probably not going to show their face. I don't want to show their face, but hopefully you can hear them talk or whatever, and let you guys know how the experience went or whatever, so we could hopefully get more people get involved and towards getting their life, back on the right track. So and if they dislike, people, you get to hear it. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody have their right to their criticism. So critique us. That's how you learn. That's how you become better. So I'm gonna definitely try to get that done and put make them as shorts. So I could see. But other than that, if y'all want me to continue on with this, to talk about this as in video format, y'all know what to do. You can support. Other than that, I'm just gonna do my other stuff I wanted to do towards, I was saying, with East St. Louis and these other places. I do need to talk about that, and I'm just going to just do it as in a video format. So maybe some couple of shorts, we'll see with it. But this, no, I'm not fit to with the lives, and I appreciate everybody, you know, who supported me through the years, you know, coming up here and all of that. But who knows, you know, I might have another one. I might not. I gotta do the right thing to try to grow this channel, to get eyes over here, not, you know, with that bullshit, not that ratchet, goofy shit you see with these Negroes on here. So I don't want that. That's why I'm trying to change, switch it up. Oh, I'm gonna do a video also too with the Patriot resistant movement. I think they done something in Detroit. I'm gonna do all that shit. So we gonna talk about that. Well, not we, I am, because this is gonna be in the video. Definitely go do a video on that. So, but you know, it is what it is. Not mad, you know. Had a good run with the live, you know, but hey, it's time to switch it up, man. So, but until then, hey, enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. Be careful, be safe out here. Peace.